Hello and welcome back to XCOM 2 Season 5. We're gonna start a new season very soon, and I just wanted to make a quick video letting you know for two reasons. First, so that remind people that you can submit your soldiers so that I can add them on my character pool, and that would be fun to have people fighting beside other viewers and help me win this war, because it's gonna be a hard one. Most of you may die, so keep that in mind, but it would be pretty fun and awesome if you could send your soldiers. So I'm gonna put a link on the description of this video and annotations so that you can get to the places where you can upload or create your own soldiers, and I will create them for you if you don't have XCOM 2 to create your own pool. The other thing I wanted to talk on this short video is about mods. Right, so last season, season 4, we finished the game on legend difficulty with not that many mods. Most of them were cosmetic. So this time we're gonna change it a little bit and make it a little bit harder. So I'm just gonna list here the mods that I'll be using if you wanna follow along at home or give it a try. So first one is a mod called Quicker Start. So Quicker Start is a mod that basically allows us to skip the first mission, and the reason for that is that with the set of mods that I'm trying and the difficulty level, it's pretty hard to make a flawless mission of Gatecrasher. So this mod is a pretty simple one that basically does it for you, gives you a flawless mission, and it also gives you the loot that you would get in the map. So the idea of this is just to reduce tediousness. I have spent the last week and a half trying and retrying Gatecrasher with this new set of mods, and it's super hard, and you'll see why in a little bit. But out of the gate, we're not gonna be seeing Gatecrasher because it's just basically luck to get it right. So I'm just gonna skip having to do that and just go through Quicker Start. So that's the first one. The next mod is a set of mods called A Better Advent. I'm just gonna read you the description of A Better Advent. A Better Advent is an ambitious enemy and AI overhaul, focusing on making encounters with some of the more bland and common enemies types more exciting. It does this by introducing variety through dozens of enemy variants and by completely overhauling the AI. So this mod is huge. It has a lot of new enemies, and they're very, very small variants of the basic Advent soldiers and aliens. Some people don't like that they just basically change a little bit of the stats and maybe some coloring here and there. But what's most important is that these changes plus the new AI changes that they did makes the game feel very different, right? So you have enemies decide not to move that much, so Overwatch is not as reliable. They can hit harder. There's some enemies that have more damage. There's an enemy called the Destroyer or something like that basically can destroy cover in one shot, which is pretty scary, especially at the beginning. So A Better Advent is one of the mods that I'll be using. Then we have another one from the same people called A Better Advent Better Pods Plus, and what this does, it makes pods bigger. So it scales with time, but basically you get an extra or 2 extra pods at the beginning of the game, and then things scale from that. You can get up to +3 enemies on each pod at the end of the game, so that will make it a lot harder to kill everything in one turn. So instead of going for like adding 1 extra pod on the map but keeping all the pods small, they made every pod a little bit bigger, which makes it harder for the team to get rid of every enemy on one turn. So that was one of my bigger problems with the game, that basically if you kill everything in one turn, then you won't get shot. So this won't be happening anymore. You need to manage your cover better because you know you're not gonna kill everything in one turn. And then finally, from the same family of mods, we have A Better Advent, All the Enemies. And what this one does is, it's a mod that basically, if you have other modded enemies, like the Long War Alien Pack, what this mod does is mix them all together so that you can have pods with mixed enemies and not have pods from only one mod. So basically now we could see pods with mutant elites and also stuff from A Better Advent. So that's a basic idea. And those are the 3 mods that I'm doing for A Better Advent. So that should be interesting. It will add a lot of variety to the game. And talking about variety, there's 2 new mods that I'm adding called additional mission types and additional dark events. And these 2 mods are pretty neat because they're from the same modder, so it's nice. And basically what you get is more variety in dark events and mission types. The mission types, I haven't played that many, but some of them are pretty confusing, so I need to be very good at reading the description of the missions. I can't just go in as I've been used to and just hit start mission whenever Bradford stops talking. So I really need to be careful not to ignore what this stuff says. I need to read a lot more. Right, so that's for variety on the missions and enemy types. Then we're adding some variety on the XCOM side. So we're gonna be adding all the Long War mods. That's Long War perk pack. So that's gonna add new and reward classes according to the description. So we're gonna have Sharpshooter, which is similar to the in-game base game Sharpshooter. We have a Ranger, which is gonna have a light 'em up, so it's gonna be like an infantry on the old Long War. We're gonna have an Assault, which is especially similar to the Enemy Unknown Assault, but he will have a sword also. Shinobi, which is a stealth and mobility sword specialist, can carry rifles and shotguns. Specialist, it's pretty much the same as the base game specialist. And they've split and then Gunner, which carries a cannon and a pistol, and a Grenadier, which carries a shotgun as a primary and a grenade launcher as a secondary. So we are gonna have 7 different classes, and each class has 3 options to select on each tier. So that should be interesting for variety also. We're gonna also be playing with the Long War Leader Pack. I haven't really played a lot with it, but I'm guessing it's a little bit like the leaders in Long War Enemy Unknown. So this mod adds a development path for XCOM soldiers in the Guerrilla Training School, allowing them to train special perks that benefit the entire squad. But only one leader at a time can go on a mission, so be careful who you're selecting for training, right? So basically we're gonna be bringing an officer on each mission, and I have no idea what they have, so we'll be discovering that as we go. We're also gonna be playing with the Long War Toolbox. The Long War Toolbox it's an extra option screen when you go into the game options, and what it has, it allows us to raise the number of soldiers on our team for each mission. So we're gonna raise that from 4 to 6, and then the Guerrilla Tactics School will raise that to 8 at the end. So we're gonna be able to send 8 soldiers at the end of the game. It also allows us to select not created equally, which gives our soldiers randomized stats at the beginning, so that's gonna be fun. We're gonna have different soldiers and not everyone created the same with 4 health and same aim and same defense. We're also gonna be playing with Hidden Potential, which also randomizes things a little bit more by giving soldiers different level ups. And it also provides Red Fog and Damage Roulette, which I'm not going to be playing with. And then a bunch of camera and UI stuff that are pretty fun. Not very game changing, it's just utility stuff. We're gonna also be adding the Long War Laser Pack. And this is just another tier of weapons. They look pretty cool, they sound pretty cool. And they are a step between mag weapons and plasma, so that should be interesting to have an extra level there. And then we're gonna keep the 2 Lone War mods that we already had on the previous campaign. That's the Lone War SMG pack. I've been using the SMG a little bit more now that we have some more variety on our troops. So for example, I found that a grenadier with an SMG is pretty nice, because that way he can move and grenade from better positions easily. And we're gonna keep the Lone War alien pack. So this one's gonna be very useful, because we're gonna have all the aliens that they introduced there, plus all the aliens on a better advent. And then a better advent, all the enemies will mix all these things together into one huge pool of aliens to choose from. So that's gonna be fun. We're also gonna be using another advent unit called the Advent Warlock. I haven't encountered this guy yet, but it should be fun to see what they can do. So basically this is a side trooper Advent officer. So that's gonna be a big surprise, and we'll need to be careful. Right, so that's most of the mods that will change things. I tried this set of mods for maybe a week and a half after I finished my Season 4 campaign, and what I noticed is that mission timers were giving me a lot of trouble, because it's pretty hard to chew through so many enemies and still make it in time to your objective. So I installed a mod called Configurable Mission Timers, and we'll be playing with it. It's configurable, like it says on the name, so I haven't really found a balance between the timers and the amount of enemies, and I haven't played fully into the game, so maybe what works at the beginning of the game it's too much at the end, or vice versa. So we need to tweak these options as we go. But basically what it allows us to do is to add extra turns to mission timers. For now I've added 4 turns on every mission, flat added, and I've noticed that that's too much in certain missions and it's right on others. So we'll see. I think we'll need to, as we encounter mission types, we'll take note of what worked and which ones we didn't have enough time, and I'll adjust accordingly. The other thing that I'm gonna be using is a mod called More Starting Soldiers, and the reason for that is that because we are having more enemies on every mission, it's easier to get hurt. We're gonna have people getting hurt all the time, because it's just the nature of leaving enemies alive, right? They're gonna hit us, and if we don't die, we are gonna be in the med bay for a long time. So we need a lot more soldiers to keep going. So instead of spending a lot of money every month on recruiting new soldiers, I'm just gonna add a bunch more to the barracks and see how that goes. That may be a little bit cheesy, but it's an easy way to balance the wounds a little bit. And talking about wounds, another mod that I'm gonna include is called Wound Recalibration. And what this does, it makes it a little bit more realistic, right? So if you get hit hard, you are gonna spend more time on the med bay. If you get small wounds, then you spend less time on the med bay. Right now, the way XCOM does it, it's a little bit random, so you could get hit for 1 HP and spend 30 days in the med bay. And then you get critically hit and you're bleeding out, and you get 7 days. So it makes no sense, and this mod supposedly is gonna make this a little bit more logical. So that way you can also make choices while fighting on who can afford to get hit and who can't. Right? You don't want your leaders or your important soldiers to be hit. Right? And then I'm gonna add 3 mods that are pretty simple. They're more cosmetic than anything, but I wanted to mention them. First one is additional icons. So basically additional icons will give us extra information for each enemy, which I like. It gives us damage that they can do, their aim and mobility and their current health values. So I'm getting rid of my big health bars and going back to the small ones, but now with more information. The only thing that I configure on this mod is hiding the loot icon, because I don't want to know which enemy has the loot. It makes no sense, and it's kinda gamey to know which enemy you can't kill with the explosives. Then we have a turret bulwark, which basically makes the turrets give cover even when they're dead. So right now, if you move beside a turret, you'd think you have cover, but they don't give any cover, so now this mod will turn that back on. And the final mod that I'm gonna be using is called Tactical HUD Tweaks. And what this one does, it gives us a lot more information on the HUD of what's gonna happen, right? So when you're sending your Gremlin to hack something, now you don't have to go all the way there to see what the bonuses are. You can see them easily on the UI, and you can also see your hit, crit, and miss chances quickly, so that's gonna be nice. And a lot of smaller tweaks to the UI to get a little bit more information in an easier way that you would still get if you were doing some math or calculating stuff. So this one just gives it to you without having to fuss about it. So that's about it. The rest of the mods that I'm running are mostly cosmetic. A bunch of armors, a bunch of voices, and some animation mods. I'm gonna create a collection for all the mods that I'm gonna be using on Season 5, but I wanted to go through the list of mods that are actually gonna be changing the game. So if you find any of these mods interesting, or if you've used them, or if you think I should have added something else to this list, please let me know in the comments, because I really love to hear from other people what mods they're using and if they found them useful or not. And another reminder again to submit your characters if you wanna be part of XCOM on this new season that's starting soon. So that's about it. Please leave a like and a comment, like I said, and I'll see you on the first episode very soon. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one. Bye bye.